The answer. And the first taxing question, can you both briefly tell me who you play and a little bit about the character?
Yeah, I play a guy called Remy, who works for the Union. And the Union is a company that sells on credit organs and body parts. In a world where it's sort of taken for granted that if you smoke too much, you can change your lungs at the end of the month, and if you don't like the colour of your eyes, you change your eyes. But similar to our world, if you don't make your payments, you know, just as someone will come and take your car or take your TV or take your house, in this world they'll come and take your organs back. And my character is a very committed repo man, and then he has literally a change of heart and suddenly realises that maybe the world he's in is not ethically as sound as he initially believes, and that kind of puts a massive rift between his oldest and dearest friend, Jake.
Yeah. Jake is, he's a level 5 repo guy. He defines himself by his job and by his actions. He's a great friend. He loves life, loves passion, likes to live in the dirt a little bit. You know, he likes to get a little dirty. It makes him feel good. And he's like the closest friend to Remy. They've been childhood friends. They started off battling each other and like continued on and went to war together, and then ultimately after war just tried to figure out how to stay together and took these jobs at the Union, and that's what he defines his world by.
Your character, for us, he's kind of a likeable psychopath, which is a bit of a dichotomy. Was that make it a hard character to find?
I guess so. I didn't really think of myself as a psychopath, but he does get off on inflicting pain. You know, it's enjoyable. That's his thing, and
He's also a very good chef.
he's a good cook. Actually, I made a great dinner for him.
I ate it, remember, all night long. It's delicious.
Yeah.
The tone of the movie, G, can you sort of tell us a bit about that? Because it's dark, it's action, it's also quite funny.
I think the tone of the film was what really got me interested initially, because I read this script and it made me really laugh, and yet at the same time it was describing, you know, this guy cutting people open and pulling their organs out, and that sort of juxtaposition made me sit up, and then the themes of it just seemed very, very original and modern. And yet slightly enhanced, so that you couldn't work out whether, well, is this a film warning us? Is this a film parodying where we were sort of at already? And I just love the humour. I love the humour, and I love the idea that without hitting you over the head by saying, like, this is a film about, you know, credit, or this is a film about healthcare, or this is a film about, you know, how do the ex-military survive in the real world after they've come back from combat. You know, it's all in there. But at its heart, it's a film, I think, about buddies, about guys suddenly turning around saying, I don't want to be like you anymore, and then splitting up. And really, that's what it's about in its heart.
And presumably the comedy elements are quite important to bring a bit of lightness to
A bit of levity.
Very dark story. Is that fair for us?
Oh, definitely. I mean, because we are cutting out body parts. I mean, you're watching people beg for their lives, and we're tasering them.
And it's really funny. It really is, though.
Yeah, it is. It's sadly funny, right? And I think that is part of one of the themes too. Is how you deal with this violence, how you can watch it and be caught all up in it, knowing that we're literally taking someone's liver out and walking away.
Yeah.
You know?
It is a literary adaptation, one adaptation of a book. Is it very similar in tone or feeling to the book?
In tone, it is. In tone, it's similar. I'd call it a cousin of the book. The book's in places almost more extreme. Remy has like 5 wives, and I mean, it takes the whole idea even further, and we sort of reined it in from there because it seemed important to base it in a more honest sort of reality, so that the jobs that they do, that they take so seriously, are quite shocking, and that they do it very matter-of-factly, like changing a wheel on a car. They're cutting people open, and we wanted that to be quite startling. So, you know, like any good adaptation, I'd say it's a specific point of view of the book. It's a personal point of view of the book, taken by, well, the guy who adapted it was actually the bloke who wrote the book anyway, and the director, and they kind of, I'd say, a cousin of the book.
Nicely put. I've got to ask you both, are either of you squeamish? And If so, how did you find watching the film back?
I can be squeamish. What's this guy who goes off into the show where he eats things and he's out in the wilderness? It's a British guy. He's like
Bear Grylls.
Is that what it's called?
He's
Where he
like a survival expert.
Yeah, and
I
it's like
think that's Bear
sometimes
Grylls,
some of
right?
the things he eats, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
I was
But with
squeamish
this,
that
I didn't
way.
mind.
This was different.
All
This
like
is-
maggots and things like that. Yeah, I couldn't do that. Me too.
the blood stuff was okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it is syrup.
That's why he's just licking our fingers.
And lastly, sci-fi does, as you've already hinted at, comment on social situations and things today. Are there any sci-fi classics that you both love that?
I'm a great fan of the original Solaris by Tarkovsky and another film by Tarkovsky called Sleeper, which is based on Roadside Picnic. Those two, I mean, I'm a big fan of Tarkovsky, full stop, but those two I think are brilliant.
We were talking about Blade Runner. I mean, I do love Blade Runner. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful, amazing film. Gattaca's pretty good.
Thanks, man. I've got a mensch.
Hey, you know it's interesting because you couldn't have your body parts, your part weren't working and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Ultimately, it was about genetics and.
Do you know what was
shit.
freaky about that? Not to major a segue into Gattaca. You know what was amazing about that was a couple of years later, there were law firms and military groups that would take DNA samples and work out whether you were prone to suicide, prone to panic,
Really?
just like in Gattaca. And they started actually doing it. So suddenly we were going.
Well, they're doing it now too. You know, now they
know,
can look
yeah.
at it and see the probability of what's going to happen.
But you also have the right now, because that's starting to happen, to say you can't read my, you can't not give me a job because you say my blood type is prone to this.
Interesting film, Gattaca.
It certainly is. You've set a whole world
Repo
in
Man.
motion.
Repo Man is really.
Guys, I'm done. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.